I got the fishing poles for tomorrow's trip.
The O in CROWE stands for objective. And this is one of those murky things in a scene because we're making this up. We don't have a script in our head. We have no idea where the scene's going to happen. And quite frankly, a lot of times we don't know what the objective is when we are starting to get to know these characters and what their relationship is, right? So, you know, it can be an old woman in a cabin who's making a stew, and someone stumbles onto that cabin, you know, maybe we think as an audience like, uh-oh, I know how this plays out. You know, we've seen enough fairy tales to know what happens here. But maybe the old woman just wants a companion to eat at dinner with, right? So the young child stumbles in, and then they end up having a very lovely dinner together. That can be the objective. As you go through a scene, you really want to sort of, as a team, figure out where the scene needs to go. That's the objective, right? So where does this scene need to go? Do we want to do we want to make the audience angry? And the answer is usually no. So what we try to do is figure out how to get on the right page. And objective is hard sometimes to figure out. And a lot of times, two people's objectives are going the opposite direction. So, you know, we're siblings at my mother's funeral, you know, and maybe my sibling says, you know, I think I'm entitled to, you know, the house. And I think, well, no, I'm entitled to the house. Well, if we start sort of attacking each other and trying to get this objective, the scene's not going to go anywhere. We're just going to fight. And I always say, if you find yourself in an argument in improv, the best thing you could absolutely do is lose, because there is no prize at the end of this. Nobody actually gets the house. So if two people are in a scene and say, I want the, you know, I think I deserve the house, and maybe this person says, I think I deserve the house. Well, at some point, those two people are going to have to agree on where the scene needs to go. So one of them is going to have to lose. You know what? You're absolutely right. Mom would want you to have this house. And, you know, you have most of the memories in this house, and you were around for Mom at the end of her life, and I really appreciate that. Well, now you have this beautiful, touching sort of scene between two siblings that, you know, 2 seconds ago were fighting. And now we know what the objective is. And another thing about objective is, a lot of people get into improv and they think that it needs to be a murder mystery. You know, we're going to go through this whole thing and there's going to be a twist at the end and the audience is going to love that. It really is hard to make a mystery work in improv, because the audience wants to confirm what they're feeling. So if we have you know, two siblings and we're like, you know what, I think you should have the house, it's beautiful, and this sibling over here says, you know what, I think it would be better if, you know, we shared it and we lived here together. You know, to have someone show up and say, well, you know, I'm the third sibling that you guys never talked about, and it really belongs to me. You know, the audience kind of goes, okay, and it fizzles out.
And I know that this map says that as soon as we get through the second part and the third part, we get the treasure.